And with that, we should just start right off, starting with toast. What do you have for us?
What? Fire, how do you feel about women?
I support,
That's a
the
loaded
various
question.
It is a loaded question.
endeavors towards gender equality? Question mark.
Okay, Trump.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Sorry, Nier.
Yeah,
Nier, that's
I
your
guess I
Literally
should
series,
feel
not
better.
direct
mine.
It's
quote.
much better. Yeah. But yeah, what is your series, Toast?
If you had an arranged marriage, would you cheat on them?
Probably not.
Would you what is it? What's it called? What's the word that I'm thinking of? If you have another woman while you're engaged, what's the word?
Isn't that cheating?
No, what would you
A
call the
mistress?
person you're? Thank you. That's the word.
That that
Oh,
is
That's
okay.
the
that goes
word we'll
beyond
use.
being engaged. That's just like kind of in general, but
Yeah.
What would you do if you had a mistress, Fire, and you had relations with her on the bed that your fiance sleeps in, and you put her clothes in your fiance's dresser? How would you feel?
Wait,
he
what?
would say,
How would
oops.
I mean, he'd probably feel dead in the morning after his fiance kills him. What do you mean?
No. What am
Okay.
I talking about? Oh
No,
yeah.
it's a good question.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so what series are
Okay,
you
so what is your
covering?
series? What series?
Shit. What's the
Toast?
title again?
It is Dahlia and Bloom, crafting a fresh start with magical tools, also known as Madougushi Dahlia wa Utsumukanai. 今日から自由な
Madougushi.
職人ライフ. Yeah. So
Shokunin Life. Yeah.
yeah, so this is
Why
a
was I about
Naro,
this?
the original Naro web novel, then it became light novel, then it became a manga. Now it is a I actually got quite a decent number of manga spin-offs and
There
now
was
it is
two, I
finally got
believe.
an
There was
an
one, and then there was one manga, and then there was another manga that
split up into two or something like that. Yeah, like had
it
two.
ran at the same time as the other one, so I got confused.
Okay.
Whatever. Yeah, that's my series, and it's done by Typhoon Graphics, which I believe Dark would recognize as, is it Dark?
I
As
don't
the
know, is
same
it?
studio who did no wait, no, that's Korean. I can't read that. Wait, is it? Did you do that one Korean show where why Rayliana ended up at the Duke's mansion? You did that, right?
Dark, did you do that? I feel
I
like
I
don't
feel like
I
I don't
feel like one of
know.
us did that.
I don't think
it wasn't
so.
me.
I don't think I did do
Although,
that one.
what about
Yeah.
One Room? Who did One Room? It wasn't me.
What?
I might have done one
Oh
room,
yeah,
but that was a
yeah. No,
while back.
Spire did one
That
room.
was
Yeah, he
yeah,
did
that
do
was a
one.
while back.
It's also the same, and finally the same studio's S Rank Adventure Daughter thing.
That
Oh,
Yeah,
one.
okay,
that's
okay.
that's the one
I
I
forget
reckon.
who covered it. You covered that one.
I did.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And so the main thing is there's this girl named Dahlia, and she died.
The end.
Okay.
No,
GG.
that's the beginning
Pack it up.
because this is
Yeah.
an isekai. Yeah, she was an office worker that died, and she got reincarnated as Dahlia, who is the daughter of a they call it like a magic artificer. I don't like that word.
Magic device inventor. I
Artificer
guess
sounds like a dungeon. Is that a
magical tool,
dungeon?
magical crafter. Just it's like a crafter, right? It's like
I would call it like a magical artisan or something like that. But
yeah, yeah, yeah.
artificer is like that's like
Craftsman.
a D and yeah, it's like a D
Yeah.
and D term, isn't it? Like artificer.
Yeah, I
I
mean it's
mean,
like
it's
a
a general
general
fantasy
fantasy
term.
term. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Just magical craftsman, I guess. Magic craftsman, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah. Anyways,
what's her father's name? Oh yeah, So yeah, she's the daughter of Carlo
Mhm.
Rossetti, and he's a famous magic artificer, whatever I'll call it that. And they make magic tools together. But because this is an isekai, you have to have the isekai advantage, right? So can you guess what Dahlia's magic isekai cheat skill is?
What is it?
Being able to make any craft
Take a guess, Fire.
by thinking about it.
What's her isekai cheat skill?
Isn't it just probably something that's just like power up magic craft or
Incorrect.
something at the
It's
maximum? What is?
nothing. Her
Whoa.
only
Oh,
isekai
classic. Yeah.
her only isekai cheat skill is that she is a magic artificer of household magic tools and whatnot. So one of her first magic tools is, can you guess, Spire? Guess a household daily life magical tool that girls cannot live without.
That girls cannot
Mirror.
live without.
Magic mirror.
Close.
Uh.
No, but no.
Um.
It's in I would say it's in the same room as a magic mirror.
Magic makeup battle station.
That's also close. In the same room.
like a brush, a broom, something.
It's
What is
also
it? I don't
close.
know.
A broom? Wow, Spire.
I
How
don't
dare
know.
you? It's correct. It is a hair dryer.
A
So
hair. Oh, a hair dryer. Okay.
she has
Okay.
the isekai skills of being able to visualize household objects and making them easier for daily life. Because one of her childhood friends was like, I want to become a hairstylist one day, but it's so hard to clean and clean hair and dry it after a bath. So he's like, oh, I'll make this hair dryer using fire and wind stones, because as a magic artificer, most of the magic they use is from magic stones. They don't cast spells or anything, but they can imbue engravings and whatnot with magical circles or whatnot. And then she nearly blows herself up and creates a flamethrower. That was cool and whatnot. Yeah. And when she gets older, um, she gets engaged to some dude named Tobias Orlando from the Orlando company. And Tobias is like the senior apprentice of her father. And the reason why they got engaged because their dads were friends with each other, and because Dahlia is a woman, some people might try to take advantage of her because she's a woman who's a magic craftsman and whatnot. So they get engaged in order to protect her from those ne'er do wellers that might do something to her. And so they are engaged for like 2 years when Dahlia's 18 or like 19 or so, until he's 20. But then it turns out Tobias Orlando was like, sorry, I like this other girl. I think she's what's the term? No, not secretary. Who's man? My mind's blanking. What's the term for the person who sits at the front desk of an Adventures Guild?
Handler?
Secretary? Is it just secretary? Whatever. We'll say
I think it's
secretary.
Like a
secretary.
guild master,
They call.
or
No,
No, no, no. It's not the. It's like I think they call it
receptionist.
clerk. Clerk. Your receptionist
Oh
clerk.
yeah,
Yeah,
it could be
receptionist or
receptionist,
clerk
could be
or whatever. Yeah,
clerk.
your reception. Yeah.
So yeah,
You're right.
she's a receptionist, and because this is an isekai story with a female protagonist, it falls into the subgenre of the villainous kind of thing, where in this one, Dahlia's the villainess.
Mhm.
She falls in the villainous role, and Amelia, I believe that's the receptionist's name, is the heroine route. Is the heroine, so he falls in love with her, and he's all like, "Sorry,
Oh,
Dahlia,
okay.
please break up with
Okay.
me." And she's like, "Okay." So there's a bit of that. And then
So
once
is this
so once
yeah.
he annuls the engagement, so far there's 8 episodes in, but like I would say the majority half of like episodes 1 through 6, so half the
Yeah, yeah,
season
yeah.
is mostly about is the villainous story arc where Dahlia and Dahlia has to deal with like
Tobias?
the fallout of
Yeah.
breaking up the engagement and then the backlash that Tobias gets because is it the
Right,
villainous
right,
the
right.
thing where oh I annulled our engagement but you have to but there's
No, it's a little bit
because he's an
different because
idiot.
it's like yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like I know what you're talking about. It's like you are sort of correct in the whole it is following upon similar structures and traditions in the sort of villainous, or I would call it the larger subgenre name would be kind of the Otome game Isekai
The
arc, right?
banished what is it? The banished villainous thing? Is that what it's called? Sure.
Yeah, similar to that. It's like it's just the villainous is just creating new flags or breaking flags or whatever it is, that whole thing, right? Like I'm gonna create my own route or I'm gonna get out of this route or whatever that. I would call it maybe the Otome game route is sort of the bigger subgenre where you're just having the strong independent main female character kind of busting up and just doing her stuff and not caring about shitty male sidekicks or the villains on the side. But so most of this is, as you said, episode 1 through 6, her Dahlia breaking up with Tobias. And is this just going from arc to arc? So there's no it's not like some of the other standard structures of something like a villainous or I'm a female alchemist or I'm a female whatever it is or a guild master where it's episodic in them trying to build stuff or them using their powers to do stuff, right? It's pretty much arc to arc.
Unfortunately, no, because like I said, the first arc, which is episodes 1 through 6, is the villainous stuff, which is very similar to another series. I want to say is of course I'll claim Palimony if you know
Uh-huh.
what that is. That's an old
Yeah,
classic
yeah,
I like.
I know of that. Yeah.
Where after the breakup, well, after the breakup, Dahlia, the, during the time that she was engaged to Tobias, Tobias was acting pretty not cool in today's standards. I'll give some
It's-
examples. Uh, Dahlia has striking red hair, and Tobias was not cool with that. He's all like, "Don't you think your red hair's too garish? Maybe you should dye it brown, like your father." And she's like, "Okay." Also, your glasses are too showy. Maybe you should use black, was it black frames instead of silver or whatever? She's like, okay, man, whatever. He was also like, don't drink too much in the day. You look stupid. And it's like, bro, come on. Those are telltale signs of an abusive relationship, if you ask
Oh
me.
wait, telltale sign of an abusive relationship. Hey, honey, maybe like cool it on the day drinking. You know?
Maybe you should dress uglier and wear darker colors so you don't stand out. And it's like, why is this even here?
Can I?
And the reason is because Dahlia's like this super prodigy, magical art craftsman, and he's not. So he was jealous of her and tried to make her less stand out so he could stand out, but ends up backfiring because everyone in the town was friends with Dahlia's dad. So the minute the engagement was nulled, everyone's like, damn, Dahlia, what'd he do to you?" They're all on her side because they all liked her father, and apparently he's been going around collecting favors for his daughter, so when she needs it. And there's a lot of that.
Yeah. Can I also ask, is most of this story based around how the main female character kind of develops her skills and how that sort of affects the world? Or is it focused more on her relationship with the various boys and that sort of
Yeah,
setting.
that's the second one. It's
Okay.
story wise, so far the only magic thing she's made, in the first arc, the first one through
It's
six
six episodes. Okay.
is the hair dryer
Jesus Christ.
the hair dryer she made when she was a little girl and waterproof fabric. That's it.
Jesus
Because
Christ. She
a
could have at least
lot
made one other thing. Come on.
well, thankfully the story picks up after the first 6 episodes, but
Okay, okay,
yeah,
okay.
because it's a lot more to deal with. Like, oh hey, I made this waterproof fabric, and I've made a patent for it. But
Mhm.
since I was engaged to Tobias, it's something like he tried to get. No, well, no, it was not waterproof fabric. Waterproof fabric is the reason why a lot of well, okay, so she made waterproof fabric, and everyone's like, "Wow, damn, you've actually helped us," because raincoats did not exist, and she used it in my like mixing slimes together, so that because slimes are will repel water. And she also made another artifact, which is like a small portable stove.
Oh,
And
the
she made it.
classic.
She made it when she was still engaged to Tobias, and apparently they had a joint account. So I guess Tobias was running out of money or something because he registered the patent to the trade guild under his name only for the magical stove, even though Dahlia did everything. They bring it up, and Tobias is like, "Well, we were married, or we were engaged when I brought up the patent. So could you just put it under my name, and then if any problems arise, I'll just bring them to you?" And she's like, "No, I made that stove, loser. Like, put it under my name, or
What the fuck?
there's going to be some repercussions, like penalty wise with the
Right,
guild."
right, right.
And he's all like, well, and because he's the jealous type, he's jealous of her skills. He was like, well, I I own the Orlando Trade Company, which deals with magical items and stuff. So if you don't if you don't give me this patent, I'll stop making. I'll stop giving you materials. I'll stop working with you. And she's like, damn, okay. And so she cuts her ties with him, and then she's all like, oh, now I can't get any materials. I have to. How will I get materials so I can make new objects? And everyone was like, hey, you should start your own company. And she makes her own Rossetti company because remember when I said that her father was basically influential to everyone in town, so she gets like
Yeah.
guarantors immediately to start her company and whatnot. Where am I going with this? I guess that
So
was
wait,
like the big.
have you read
Yeah,
this?
I read this.
Um. Okay,
I
okay.
read the manga
So
and
what
whatnot.
is the sec? I guess. Fuck, I
So I
can't ask
guess
her
that
what
would
second.
be. I guess that would be like the major arc. She's free and independent of like Tobias. So
So can I ask? Can I ask
she
if I don't want to ask for spoilers. Can I ask whether the second arc involves much more like free form crafting and like
yeah
traveling
yeah it
around and like
does
okay, so it's much less of the whole like oh I'm gonna break up or where's this dude and blah
because
blah
yeah
blah.
like I
It's
said
less of
after
that.
6 episodes the engagement is null. She's starting her own company. She dyes her hair back to normal. She starts dressing better, and I was like, damn, she's hot.
Uh huh.
And she
Uh huh.
that's where she meets
Okay.
the I guess the male lead of the story
Right.
because
Right. Right.
when she was going out of town to get materials, she encounters was it a member of the royal guard named Wilfred Scalfaroto? Right, what?
I don't even know these names.
Just
Yeah.
go call him Wolf. We just
Wilfred
call him Wolf.
Scalfaroto. Yeah.
But yeah, and he's the male lead because he's handsome, and he encounters Dahlia, and she helps him. After he's been injured by a wyvern and whatnot, and then they make friends, and he becomes more interested in her and her magic tools, and they become friends.
Okay.
But it's okay because he's a noble, which is the obvious thing of I've
Another classic.
you know uh the classic prince of if the prince of your country doesn't want you, then I'll take you, kind of thing.
Yeah. Can I
So yeah.
also can I also say something? So I was reading through some of the Wikipedia descriptions for these characters, and for um what is it? Obviously, Tobias is whatever, but Wolfred, right? The guy, the person that Dahlia finds, the ninja person during the second arc or whatever, or during the start, at least from the start of the second arc, it says he is cursed with good looks that make him easily recognizable and desirable. and
Oh,
I,
I can explain that. He's got
Mhm.
golden eyes, fire like a wolf. Get it?
Hmm.
Because wolves have golden eyes, and everyone's like,
Like some
"Damn, your
Code
eyes
Geass
are
shit. Like,
maybe." I don't know. He's got
no.
golden eyes. They're rare. And everyone's like, apparently he has problems with women because he's super handsome, and it's like okay, but Dolly's the only one who doesn't really care about that because she likes her magic
Mhm.
tools.
Okay.
And you bring that up because after they meet, they have fun together. In the second arc, she immediately makes like two magic tools in
Okay, so like
two
the second
episodes.
arc is the real sort of what
Yeah,
everybody kind
it,
of wants.
the
Yeah,
first
yeah.
one's
Okay,
the
okay,
prologue, where the villainous
okay.
stuff. The
Okay,
second
okay,
one's like
okay.
they were talking about it because he's a member of the royal guard, and he's all like, "Oh, I want a magic sword like the other cool dudes have. Wouldn't it be cool?" So
Now the follow-up question I have for you is, have there been any news of a potential second season? Because I feel like a second season would help in the whole, not having to deal with 6 episodes of this prologue kind of stuff.
I don't know. Maybe I hope
Yeah.
so. It's anyway, but yeah. So second arc, she immediately it takes one episode. They they make a prototype magic sword using cool stuff. Also, she designs eyeglasses that block perception, so it turns his gold eyes into green eyes. Get it, near?
Yeah.
Does that sound familiar, near?
What?
What? Glasses that block
So the second arc is
Oh,
mainly just them
perception.
sure.
kind of going off into, doing actual crafting stuff and,
Actual
developing,
crafting
the
combat, but
yeah,
also
yeah, and developing a slight tie with like Wilfred and stuff like that, right?
I
And
want to
the other
say
characters.
there was for in this series there was a
Uh-huh.
suspicious number of eating scenes, like more than drinking wine scenes, more so than making magic tools and whatnot.
Yes, the thing is also, I saw this. So this is a male author, right? Is this a male author? And it's like,
The author
this
is
is this light novel and the manga and stuff like that are, how do I say this? It's more dedicated towards males in the magazines that this was published in, right? So a lot of this seems kind of like, obviously the author
I
wants to
don't.
write this structure, but it's like a lot of it is
Why would you say
needed
the
in a
author
way.
is male? Because I don't get that from this author. The author is Hasaya Amigishi, and how would you? I don't know.
I'm just wondering because if it's like a dude writing things for dudes, right? Usually that seems to be usually a little bit more common, I think, right? But
Do most dudes write villainous stuff? Is that what we're getting at?
no, I'm not saying that most dudes write villainous stuff. What I'm saying is that in the line of people just writing this sort of like Isekai stuff for males, a lot of the authors, I guess, with the web novel stuff in general, tends to be male writers, right? So that's what I was just wondering. But if it's not, then
I
I'm
don't know that this is a male or female author, but
uh,
anyway, where was I going? What else do I have to talk about? The voice actors, I guess. Voice actors. Rossetti or Dahlia's voiced by Onishi Saori. I don't know who that is.
Oh yeah, just some random voice
Yeah, I
actor
did
actress.
just some
Just
chick.
nobody has given roles to her. Yeah,
Oh, and then the main lead, Wolfred. Why is it called Wolfred? Oh, my anime list. What are you doing to me?
yeah. Wolfred. It's
Wolfred.
Kamado Atsushi. Yes.
I don't know who that. I actually don't know who that is.
uh,
Uh,
I think he's. What is it?
going through his
He
roles.
has been up. He has been in the business for a while. It's just that he hasn't gotten like a shit ton of I want to say these sorts of like main roles is what I would say. He hasn't gotten a lot of them.
Okay, sure, whatever. And then Tobias is voiced by Tomohiro Ono. So do that guy. Yeah. And then I
Mhm.
guess there's a bunch of other people. The Vice Guild leader is Ohara Sayaka. And
Uh-huh.
then
Another pretty prolific voice actress recently.
I guess another dude that I can point out that I know off. I'll know off the top of my head was Z- uh, Oswald Zora, who is the author, who is the what do we call it? The owner of like the high class magic artisan store, because Dahlia only does like daily life stuff. He's voiced
Mm.
by Junichi Suwabe, so
Oh, okay,
that's
okay.
cool. Do you know
Nice,
who
nice,
Junichi
nice, nice,
Suwabe
nice.
is?
Just some random person.
Here, do you know who he is?
No, never heard of him.
Me neither.
Never heard of him.
Yeah,
So,
I guess so.
do you want
There's
to
a pretty
go?
good cast. Pretty good cast
Yeah.
in this.
Do you want to go over
Um,
the audio visuals real quick?
the opening is Chisana Tsubomi by Nako Misaki. It's all right. And then the
It's more
ending,
of like a Santa Annie song kind of stuff. Yeah.
it's all right. Then the ending is Glitter by Marina Horiuchi. It's also all right.
Okay.
But overall, okay, now we go to the visuals. The visuals are weird. Weird. You
Why?
know how in manga panels, you know how they cheat the way to like getting designs on clothes, on people's hair by like, is it layers, right?
What do you mean?
You know,
Are you talking about how they have used like you draw the hair and the clothes and stuff like that on different layers, or what are you talking about?
how they like, how would you put plaid in a manga? Don't you just like add a layer
Oh,
or no, it's a
plaid?
tone.
Oh, yeah, like the
It's a
patterns and
tone,
stuff like
right?
that.
Yeah, like screen toning, skin
Yeah.
tones. I mean, I
There's
don't know
some
if you can
Oh,
weird
touch
okay.
ass screen
plaid,
toning in
right?
the first couple episodes of this anime.
Where are you talking about? Like some like chowder level shit or
That's a
something?
good
Like,
that's a good way to put it actually, yeah.
damn.
Because
Oh, okay.
when Dahlia met up with Wolfred because he got injured by a wyvern, they instead of like putting individual like he's covered in dirt and blood or whatnot, just like his entire body was covered in this weird tone of like splotches, which I guess signified
Oh, okay.
dirt.
What the heck?
You
Yeah.
know, like when Germa played Just Cause 2 and people were like, "Hey," and he did that whole 3DS thing where he's like, "Hey, you have a
Yeah.
dirty 3DS," that thing. It was kind of like that
So
all
it was
over
like
his body.
it was very clearly like an overlay,
Yeah,
not
and it
really
was all
like
over his
a
body,
hand
and it was
like
super
drawn.
weird.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know who to blame for that. Maybe it's the other studio because this has two studios. The first studio is Typhoon Graphics. The other studio's Magica Infos. I don't know what that means.
I've never heard of that studio either.
Yeah, I believe I had the same problems with like these weird tones as I did when I watched S rank Daughter Bokensha
Oh,
Adventure.
okay, okay. Then it must be like
So
one of those. It must be one of the art directors or
I
somebody
guess
in there, or like somebody who's doing some. Yeah, it might be one of the art directors.
also there's a lot of weird CG that was used in the first
Uh-oh.
few episodes.
Uh-oh.
I looked it up, and the 3D CG is done by some dude named Kenta Doi, and it says on
What
his
else did
Twitter
he do?
that I don't know. I didn't look. It says on his Twitter bio that he doesn't use AI, and I'm like,
Wow.
Okay,
It
sure.
specifically says he doesn't use AI.
I mean, that is a very
Okay.
I
current, like,
googled it.
Japanese artist fucking thing to do right
I
now.
googled it. Translate bio. It says I don't use AI at like the last sentence.
Right.
I'm just saying there's some. Most of the backgrounds are CG, but they're CG in a way that they don't change at all. If you know what I mean.
Sort of like really static, you mean?
Yeah,
Or
really static backgrounds, and you can tell that like over and over again with the same shots. But it's I wouldn't say that's necessarily a bad thing because it's consistent. Because Dahlia lives in this like rundown old tower, and the tower looks nice. I don't really have any complaints with like how the CG moves. It's just weird how it's pretty consistent throughout. So I don't know whether that's an actual complaint or not. But yeah, they use CG for most of the backgrounds.
Okay.
And the plants and trees all look kind of weird, but they're consistent.
Uh,
So at least
okay.
they aren't weird CG horses. So
Yeah, I mean, at least it's not just like the fingers of the main character being animated while she makes the crafts or whatever, right? It's like
yeah,
that's
it's
like
mostly
also something that
it's the
happens in like music
backgrounds.
series. Yeah. Okay, yeah,
So
yeah. That's fine.
anyway,
That's fine.
what else? Overall though,
Mhm.
oh, other than the weird toxic relationship thing, um, I quite like this series. If I had to compare it to something else that I've also covered that in the same vein, like overall story feel, um, I would say the Saint's magic is everywhere or omniscient, whatever the title was. I also covered that
Faint's magic power is omnipotent or something like that. Yeah, I think I know. Yeah, I know that
where
series. Mhm.
they take this ordinary, this ordinary girl gets isekai and she gets banished, and whatnot, but
Yeah, 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 yeah.
she's not, but she meets up with other male protagonists, and she slowly comes out of her shell in a way,
Mhm.
and she becomes hot. What's the word for like plain? Uh,
What?
no. What's the term for plain girl in Japanese? It's not dojiko, right? No, that's something else.
It's like Jimiko. Jimiko.
Is it?
Yeah, it's like a Jimiko is like a quiet, just
Yeah,
like
yeah.
literally, yeah. Jimmy is just like plain, yeah, but it's
So yeah,
Jimiko.
they make Dahlia the Jimiko type because she dyed her hair to a muted color and whatnot while she was
Mhm.
engaged. But then when she
Oh, okay,
breaks
okay, okay, okay.
engagement, she breaks out of her shell and becomes super hot. That would be
Mm,
and more confident in herself. But yeah, that's
okay.
that's what I meant when I say very same feel or tones as Saints Magic is everywhere, and I like that one.
Mhm,
So naturally, I like this one
mm,
too.
okay.
The comeuppance that Tobias gets isn't as gratifying as other villainous stories. It's more grounded in reality because Tobias's brother comes in and he's all like, "Do you know why our fathers or our father and her father wanted you to marry her?" And it's like it's because he said something to along the lines of, "You're not as good as her. Also, I'd hope that you'd be able to protect her from other people, from other near dwellers that try to take advantage of her and whatnot." So he got by divorcing Dahlia, he got the short end of the stick.
Yeah,
They're
yeah, yeah.
basically saying like, "You idiot, she's way better than you, and you didn't have to be jealous of her." And because of that, our company's going to suffer by losing such ties to such a good magic craftsman and whatnot.
Mhm.
So it's pretty, I would say, more realistic. It's not as outlandish as like saying, "Oh, I banish, I'm the prince. I banish you to another country. Eh, You use
The
saint."
prologue is a little bit more chewed upon, thought out, is what you want to say, right? Than
Yeah,
just like the whole isekai. Oh yeah, well I'm gonna just start off on my own life, and that's just one episode, and boom, like off we go, kind of thing.
it's
Is
not
sort
as
of
cool as like saying like, "Oh, you're a fake." The prince is saying like, "You're the fake saint, and you must be banished." And then the saint's like, "Oh, okay. Well, if you found a better saint, I guess I'll remove the barrier that surrounds our kingdom and makes it peaceful." And now suddenly dragons attack the kingdom and they
right.
don't fight. So it's not as outlandish.
Uh-huh.
It's more, down to earth, which I
Okay.
like. Yes.
Okay.
But yeah,
Okay.
I wouldn't say this is a revenge series. Very much,
Yeah, I mean,
very much a slice of life series so far.
I think it's a
Very,
pretty standard, like, not ultimate game, but again, one of those strong, independent female lead in an isekai doing whatever kind of series. But again,
yeah,
the variant is that it has that longer sort of prologue, right? So,
yeah.
um, what would
But yeah,
you rate the series?
since I liked since I like the Saints series so much, this is a solid 8. Very, very good story. Very
Okay.
likable characters. Other than
Hmm.
Tobias, who is basically the most scumbag character this season. Dahlia is very likable. Wolf's very likable. The people who support Dahlia are they're all nice, all good characters.
Okay.
I,
Pretty good.
I don't have many negatives to say other than the weird tones they use in the first few episodes. But ever since Wolfred wasn't dirty anymore, they didn't have to use that weird dirt tone on him. So everything's clean.
Okay.
And yeah, very very slice of life. Very take it as you go kind of
Yep.
series. Shows you how to get out of a abusive relationship by being a strong, independent woman who
Strong,
needs no
independent woman.
man.
Yeah. Yeah. All
So yeah,
right.
they did.
Well,
I would say they do the breakup a lot better than some other series
right.
because
Right. It's not railroaded as much. Yeah.
she's an older character. I would say.
Hmm.
She died as an office lady, so she's not like a young girl. So
Hmm.
she's a lot more mature with her emotions, and
Hmm.
she definitely has. She doesn't like secede her will to anyone else because, like I said, when that dude was pressuring her to be like, can I keep this magic stove patent? She's like, no, it's mine. So she gets what she wants. Very strong, independent. So yeah, I like that.
All
Good.
right.
So yeah,
Well.
overall, very good series. 8 out of 10. I
Mhm.
highly recommend if you like the Saints, Magics Everywhere. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, good isekai. That's pretty cozy.
All right. Well, then, thank you very much, Toast. Again, if you do want to check out a sort of strong female lead, kind of goes out in isekai, it does various crafting, slice of life, plus a little bit of romance here and there, whatever she kind of wants. But with maybe a slightly stronger variant of the prologue at the beginning, then please do check this out. This is Dahlia in Bloom, also known as Madougushi Dahlia wa Utsumukanai. Utsumukanai. 今日から自由なショッキング life. This is originally a Naro web novel that got adapted into light novel as well as manga, and now it is getting a anime adaptation. So by again co-produced by Typhoon Graphics and Imagica Infos. So please do check this out.